Right. Hello, class. It's good to finally be able to talk to you all and address you. I apologize for the delay on some of the content that I intended to release. Last week, at the start of the semester, my child Aiden, my newborn, he was 4 months old, he brought some stuff home from daycare that laid me up for a while, to be honest. And I spent several days confined to my bed. It was not fun. However, during that time, I intended to be producing content for all of you so that you could be up to speed on what's going on. And unfortunately, there was just no way for me to do that. So now, here it is on Sunday night at 10:42 p.m. and I am finally recording the syllabus video, which should have been out a long time ago. So I appreciate those of you who reached out with your concerns. I appreciate those of you who have been understanding during this process. I know it can be a very daunting thing to log into a class and not know what's going on and not have anybody tell you, and it was really outside of my control, and I very much appreciate your understanding. So what we're going to do in this video is go over the class syllabus, and it's pretty cut and dry. There shouldn't be too much question as to what's going on. However, I want to walk you through all the expectations so that you know what to expect for this semester. And I hope that even though this is an online class, I do hope you enjoy what we get to this semester, because I have selected some material that I think you will like and some material which will probably challenge you so much that you'll hate my guts. But that's life, right? Okay, so here's the syllabus. All right. Okay. So obviously this is an online class, so we don't have any kind of meeting or anything like that. I'm a little bit different than a lot of online professors. We don't actually meet in a virtual format, but I do record lectures, which I expect you to watch. So it's almost like we have a class, like an in-person class, just without the potential for you to get feedback. So my name is Brian Murphy. That's BryanMurphy. My email address, which is the best method of contact for reaching me, is brian.murphy@weskatech.edu. Should you be interested in coming by my office, I do have a physical office. It is in Coweta, the Coweta campus, or the Noonan campus, as some people call it. And it is in the B building, which is the second building there, the second one on the left when you come in through the entrance. And it is office B228. So that's on the second floor of the B building. If you have a hard time finding me, just ask around. There's usually a custodian or somebody, a police officer that can point you in the right direction. I do have an office phone number. I'm not always in my office. I work between two or three different locations, some of which are in Carrollton. But my office phone number, nevertheless, if you would like to try to call me, is 770-755-7815. I know that a lot of people prefer the phone call as the means of getting in contact with me. My office hours and availability are Tuesday and Thursday, 2 through 5. So you could come by at any time if you wanted to. Or you could make an appointment with me if you want to see me in person. However, if you would like to have a digital office hours sort of thing, you can reach out to me and we can use a feature in Blackboard called the Collaborate feature. And that will allow us to basically Skype or, FaceTime kind of thing, if that's what you prefer. There's always, of course, the email, which is my preferred method of communication because I check my email 7,000 times a day. So if you want to get in contact with me, that's the best way to do it. All right. So you need to have had 1101 composition and rhetoric with a C or better. This is composition in literature. Slightly different class. A lot of the same concepts that you learned in composition and rhetoric will apply to composition in literature. The main difference between the two classes is that in this class, there's going to be a lot more reading, specifically a lot more reading of literature, right? So poems, short stories, uh, novels, graphic novels. We even dabble in film a little bit. Film is kind of literature in this weird way. So all of the textbooks that you would normally be using that cost $3,000 at that's an exaggeration, but they cost a lot of money at the bookstore. We don't use any of that. All of the texts I give you, if I can't find a PDF that I can give you for free, I don't assign the text. And this is to save you money. But what this does is that it makes it to where you have to access all of your reading materials virtually. Some people don't like that. And if you don't, I would just say there are hard copies of all of these texts if you would prefer to purchase a hard copy from like eBay or something. I don't know if you guys are any eBay snipers out there, but if you are, you can usually find cheap books that way, or there's all kinds of different ways that you can find cheap books. You're welcome to use a Kindle if you really want to. You don't have to use the PDFs that we have. But there's lots of options for you. However, the cheapest one, the one that involves you spending no money, is using the PDFs that I provided. Okay, page 2, moving right along. So a couple of things that you need to make sure that you have. Obviously, you have to have Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office. If you don't have Microsoft Office, the school provides it to you for free. Just shoot me an email and I'll send you a link and you can download Office, or you can create an Office account, which you can then use it wherever you are. Some people ask, well, can I use Google Docs? I would suggest that you don't use Google Docs. The main reason being is that when you convert the file, when you save a Google file as a Word file, which you will have to do to submit the essays that we write, sometimes things get moved around. They get converted in a very strange way, and I'm not really sure why. I don't quite understand it. But it is, nevertheless, it is best for you to go ahead and get your Microsoft account so that you can just write everything in Word. You're going to need internet access wherever you are, preferably at home. I mean, that would make it really easy for you. I know I live out in the sticks, so our internet's kind of lousy. I don't know if there's going to be any glitches in this video as a consequence of it, but we really do have very spotty internet. So I get it if you're in a situation where the internet's not so good, or if you don't have access to it for one reason or another. If you would like to go up on campus, there are lots of computers. You can find other methods of accessing the internet, through a friend's house or a friend's computer or the local library or whatever. But you need internet access, especially for this online class, because we are going to be doing a lot of assignments online. In fact, all of them. So you will probably need Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox as your browser. The reason being is that these browsers are the least, they're the least buggy. Least buggy and most compatible with Blackboard. Blackboard is you've probably figured this out already, it's the means by which all of our classes are hosted. It's like sort of like a Google Classrooms kind of thing. It's like a program that's very similar. But it's kind of buggy. I don't like to bite the hand that feeds me, but sometimes Blackboard has issues. So if you have Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, those issues can be mitigated in a large part. So that's basically all you need for this class. There's no $300 textbook or crazy things that you have to buy. Very cheap, affordable in those terms. So what we're going to go through now, to see the stuff with the highlight, it starts with plagiarism and academic dishonesty. This is my section of personal syllabus policies. These policies were written by me and inserted into the document that is kind of generic and given to us all. So this part you really want to pay attention to, because these are my personal policies. My personal policies are very important for the class if you want to make it through without a hitch. The first policy I have is a plagiarism and academic dishonesty clause. My approach to plagiarism is zero tolerance. Academic dishonesty, cheating of any kind, zero tolerance. If I catch you cheating on any assignment, be it a quiz, discussion, or major essay, God forbid, you will get a 0 on that assignment, and this is non-negotiable. If you plagiarize a major essay and I give you a 0 and I accuse you of plagiarism, if you respond to me by saying that you didn't do it, I will refer that to the dean of, I think it's the dean of academic affairs, or I believe that's it. There is a higher channel, an administrative channel, that I can take issues of code of conduct violations to. And if you plagiarize and I accuse you, it's because I have you dead to rights. If you say no, I didn't plagiarize, usually it means that you're doubling down on a lie, but it could also mean that I'm completely foolish and just made a huge mistake. It's never happened yet. It's not to say it can't happen. I'm always open to the possibility. So if you say that I'm wrong, I can't afford to be wrong because I can't be accusing students for no reason. So I will refer you to the administrative channels, and if they second my opinion, I will pursue a code of conduct violation, which will follow you on your record. So please don't plagiarize or cheat in this class. Please don't do it. If I catch you doing it, you're going to have a hard time. Particularly with the essays, I am very good at catching plagiarism. It's not something I'm particularly proud of because it's a very unpleasant aspect of my job to accuse people of dishonesty and have them lie about it or get upset about it or whatever. It's a very uncomfortable thing, and I don't like doing it. So let's just avoid that. Let's write all original content. I don't provide anywhere near the amount of assignments that some of my colleagues do. So that's kind of nice of me, right? So you can repay that kindness by maintaining academic integrity throughout the course and not plagiarizing or cheating. Okay. Sorry, I got a little wordy with that one, but you can see that it's close to my heart because it's not fun. It's my least favorite part of the job. Okay, this is very important. I have not told you any better up until now, so I have been answering a lot of your Blackboard messaging communications. I really hate Blackboard messaging. I'm supposed to use it, I think. I don't like it at all. It's very clunky as a messaging system. It's not very user-friendly. It's not very intuitive. And not only that, but there are 6 different inboxes that I have to keep up for Blackboard messaging. So I do not check it. I'll go ahead and tell you, I do not check Blackboard messaging. I check it like once in a blue moon, and that's just to make sure that there are not any students who didn't hear me say this. Please use my email to contact me. Please use my email. My email is the best way. You should be checking your school email often, and you should be like refreshing your inbox, because if I'm ever to send an announcement out for the class, I'll click that little button on the announcement panel that says send email, and it will also send an email that corresponds to the announcement that I've sent. So checking your email and using your email for communications are a good way to keep in contact with what's going on in this class, and you should do it. If you email me, please do so from your West Georgia Tech account. Don't do it from a personal account, or if you're a dual enrollment student, don't do it from your high school account. Use your West Georgia Tech email so I know exactly which student it is, and I know that it's not like your parent or something pretending to be you. Believe it or not, that does happen. Please use my email, though, brian.murphy, B-R-Y-A-N, at wescatech.edu. So the Turnitin Dropbox policy, we will be using a feature called Turnitin. There are Dropboxes which will be embedded in Blackboard in the Writing Assignments folder for you to submit your essays. Turnitin is a great feature because it checks for plagiarism. It scans your essay against every essay that's been submitted to Turnitin, as well as the entire internet, much in the same fashion as a search engine. And it produces a similarity report telling me, hey, this is really similar to this. Here are the same words, and here's where this is similar. And wow, don't you think that this might be the same stuff? And it really, really makes my job a lot easier in terms of catching academic dishonesty. It's also probably not your friend if you're one who is prone to academic dishonesty, or if you intended to pay for or to plagiarize the papers in this class. We use the Turnitin Dropbox. All essays must go to the Turnitin Dropbox if they are to be graded, period. And this is because in the past I have had students say, well, I'm having technical difficulties. I can't submit this to the Turnitin Dropbox. Could you just grade it through email? And then I called them into my office and I had them submit it And lo and behold, they plagiarized, and they were trying to avoid the software by making up technical difficulties. Of course, you see all of this stuff as a professor. People come up with all kinds of creative ways to deceive you. So we are going to be using this Dropbox. If you go to hand in the essay and you are having technical difficulties, as I said, Blackboard is a buggy system. If that happens, you can screenshot what's going on, send me an email with the screenshot and the essay attached. If you do that, you will waive any penalty. So let's say it's 11:59 on the day the essay is due. You go to submit it, you're getting an error message. You don't take the screenshot, send an email to me. That will waive the penalty. However, if the essay doesn't get into the Dropbox within a day or so, it does not get graded. If it doesn't go and turn in, it doesn't get graded. That means you have to change computers, change browsers, go to campus, do whatever you have to do to get that essay submitted. If it doesn't go to turn in, it doesn't get graded, and that is firm. I do have a policy for essay feedback. If you want feedback on your essays, you have to send it to me well in advance, like at least a week. And you have to, you should expect me to give you general feedback, okay? So I'm not going to go through with a red felt tip marker and correct every problem. I will go through and tell you the general problems that I see, like, hey, your thesis statement needs work, or hey, your punctuation is a little off. You should check comma splices or something like that. If you don't do that, you probably won't get your essay turned around by me. The reason I can only do general feedback, by the way, is because too much feedback for me is excessive collaboration. It's like I'm helping you do the assignment. And since each assignment is supposed to be generated independently by you, that's not really the best course of action. Okay, page 3. Slugging right along. Computer use during lectures doesn't really apply to an online class. I mean, of course, you're going to be using computers. Issues with Chromebooks. If you're reliant on a Chromebook, you may want to try to find something else. Like if you're reliant on a Chromebook to do your work, sometimes Chromebooks are buggy. Not all the time, sometimes. I'm not sure why. I'm not a tech guy. I don't understand it at all. But it got bad enough one semester that I put a clause in my syllabus saying, hey, if you're reliant on a Chromebook, maybe look for a laptop or a personal computer or something. Also, I'll just go ahead and tell you, don't even try to use your phone or tablet to do the assignments in Blackboard. It's definitely not compatible with those, really. Okay, so this next one is very, very important, especially for this class, and that is the content advisory. So I need you guys to listen to me very carefully when I say this. There are some texts that I have assigned which will be offensive to some people, probably a reasonable amount of people in some capacity. And if it's not offensive, I may assign something that is depressing or dark or confusing, or just for any reason whatsoever you don't like the text. That's fine that you don't like it. In fact, very few students like everything I assign. But no content is going to be dismissed on the basis of moral objection. Okay? So I'll just be frank. Let's say you read a text and you see the F word. Okay? Let's just say the F word is there. We all know the dreaded F word. If you decide that you can't handle the F word, that it's completely against your fabric as a human being and you cannot tolerate it, please be advised that I am not going to give you any new text to read, that I am not going to give you any new assignment to do. I welcome your feedback. I welcome your input. I welcome your opinions. If you hate it, tell me. It's not a huge deal. Put it in the discussion posts. Send me an email ranting and raving. I hate this book. But please understand that nothing is going to be dismissed on the basis of moral objection. We are adults. College is for adults. It's for adult-themed content. That means, sometimes it means as an adult, you got to embrace the nitty-gritty. You got to see some stuff that you don't like. You got to have your morality pushed and your understanding pushed and all of that stuff. It's not about really being sort of appeased all the time, like, oh, I like this, yes, good, or I don't like this, I shouldn't have to deal with it. Sometimes you deal with some stuff you don't like, and that's just that's the truth of the matter. And if you want to get through college, especially if you're going on to a 4-year institution, which I assume some of you may be, you're going to have to get used to seeing some stuff that maybe rubs you the wrong way. Okay. So that being said, like I said, I welcome your input, but no content or assignment will be dismissed on the basis of moral objection. Disruptive behavior doesn't really apply to online. I would just say don't be rude in your emails. Sometimes you don't understand how rude your emails come off, like text messages and stuff. There's the tone kind of, it doesn't always translate. Just be nice and I'll be nice back. It's very easy. And plans for online shift, that doesn't apply. Course materials in Blackboard. I can move stuff around in Blackboard. I will move stuff around in Blackboard. Some of the stuff in Blackboard is pre-programmed and I don't use it. I try my best to clean up the course and get rid of all the crap I don't use, but sometimes I miss things. If you're wondering what is due or what we're doing, all of that is on the syllabus. Go by the syllabus. Open the document, look at the calendar. That's what's due for the grade. Okay, use the syllabus. The syllabus is your friend. The attendance policy, obviously I would just say you need to log in every week and you need to check the assignments and watch the lecture videos and stuff every week. If you don't do that every week, if you just try to phone it in and do the assignments but don't engage the content, you're probably not going to do very well. You're probably going to bomb the essays. My attendance policy is that you are expected to attend. I do not keep attendance, especially in an online class, for the purpose of a grade or anything like that, but you should definitely be logging in every week. And if you don't, and then later you have a problem, I'm not going to be super sympathetic. Late work. So the policy on late work is this. If it's a daily grade type thing, like a quiz or a discussion or some other assignment that I give, that I don't accept that late unless you have a credible excuse. What is a credible excuse? That means you're sick, your relative is sick, your relative died, your car is on fire, and you can take a selfie of you with the burning car. I would need some kind of proof to tell me what it is you're going through. And if I don't have that, sorry, you can't make up the assignment. School, if you're in high school and stuff, or if you have extracurriculars for whatever reason, maybe through West Georgia Tech even, those things are excused. And you just need to reach out to me in advance about those. But other than that, none of the daily stuff is going to be taken late. The essays are 5 points a day that they are late, which is actually pretty generous compared to a lot of other people's late policy for essays. And they are 20% of the final grade, and they're 5 points a day. So if you can't get it in the day it's due, it's 5 points deduction every day that it's late. Okay, moving right along. Pop quizzes. I reserve the right to give pop quizzes and to generate random assignments, and I will let you know about that in advance, well in advance. I'll send you emails and stuff, but you should be watching the announcements all the time to see if I give you anything else. I'm not planning on adding any more assignments, but if I decide to, I reserve that right. Late to class, you're never going to be late because you don't actually attend class. Respondus browser. There will be one proctored assignment. I haven't decided which assignment that is yet, but there will be one assignment which is proctored by this program called Respondus. And I'm required to do this by the state really, but it's enforced by the people that run the IT over there. So be on the lookout for information about that. You'll have to download the Respondus lockdown browser and then take a proctored assignment, and it will make sure that you don't cheat. So that's cool. I guess that's the legal way of making sure that people don't cheat on assignments, except it's only one that's required. It should be every one of them, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, this is all a bunch of legalese. You can read over this if you want, if it applies to you, which it may. This is all the stuff for the FERPA and all the different policies, if you want to click on that. We are committed to a universal learning environment, which is nice. If you're going to withdraw from a class, you can do so until the withdrawal date. If you pass the withdrawal date, you can't withdraw. You can still withdraw, but you will get an F. Withdrawal is a tricky thing because some people, you have to have a certain amount of classes to keep your financial aid, so withdrawal is not even an option. Other people, if you want to protect your GPA and you realize you're going to fail a class, it might be smart for you to withdraw, especially if it's not going to mess up your financial situation. So withdrawal is an important tool in your collegiate toolbox. If you withdraw, it's not like it's nothing. If you do it before the date, like it'll still be on your transcript, and it doesn't really look great, I guess, but a lot of universities don't hold it against you because everybody withdraws for something. Maybe you started a class and you got in, you know, ah, man, this workload is way too much. I can't balance all this. I've just got to withdraw. And that happens. So you have that ability. The withdrawal date is very late. It's like around Thanksgiving or something like that, or right before it, like the week or two before it. I will check the academic calendar. You can check it on the West Georgia Tech website if you want. But the withdrawal date is very late this go around. General rules, yada yada, work ethics, that sort of stuff. That's not really that important. So makeup work, I've already gone over that. We don't really take makeup work. We can take makeup work if you have an excused absence. Okay, so this is important. This is, whoa, man, I zoomed in too much. This is the grade breakdown. This is what you're going to be graded over, okay? So the first thing is writing assignments. There are 3 essays in this class. They are 3 pages long, or about 1,000 words each, and they are spaced throughout the semester per each unit. We have 3 units that we're going to be studying. The first unit is fiction, the second one is drama, and the third one is poetry. So each of those will have a corresponding essay that is 3 pages long, around 3 pages, 1,000 words. It needs to be in MLA format. It needs to be cited appropriately, yada, yada, yada. You know all that stuff. So those are by far the biggest assignments. You really want to make sure you do well on the essays and you pay a lot of attention and devote a lot of effort to them. Then there comes assessments or pre-writing. These are like reading quizzes and stuff, or little assignments I may give you and stuff like that. That's another 20%. There won't be many of those. If we read something, you should expect there to be a quiz over it in Blackboard. Some things I won't quiz you over, 1 or 2 things, because they're just so old. I don't think if you read them in advance, you would even understand them really that well. I'm going to go over them with you so that you will understand them, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But that's another 20%. And then learning activities. So that's going to be like discussion boards. There are several discussions that we're going to do. That's going to be another 20%. All in all, it's not very many assignments. So that's good on one hand because you don't have as much work. It's not so good on the other hand because if you miss assignments, they count a lot more, right? So you're going to want to stay on top of this. And this is, of course, the grade distribution. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. If you're not, you can check that out on your own. Here's the course schedule. So I'll just go over what we're going to be doing. So the first week I was supposed to have these lecture videos posted. We are now on week 2. Syllabus video, which I promised you last week, but as I said, I got sick and there's nothing I could do. The to fiction and Edgar Allan Poe is coming as well. It will be uploaded by Monday at the latest. And then right now what you should be doing is reading Edgar Allan Poe's short stories, starting with the texts. And if you go to Blackboard, you go under the Lessons tab, and then you open the Lessons folder. There is a folder inside the Lessons folder, inside of a folder inside of a folder. There's a folder inside of the Lessons folder that's called Texts for Fall Semester 2022. You click on that, you're going to see the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe. It's got everything the guy ever wrote. Really awesome to find that as a free PDF online. You click on that, and in the table of contents, there are little hyperlinks. They're highlighted blue, like most hyperlinks are. You click the corresponding hyperlink that goes with the desired story that you're supposed to read, and it'll take you right to it. Most of these stories are pretty short. Some of them are a little bit longer. I think the Pit and the Pendulum is like around 20 pages or something like that. Maybe a little bit longer, a little bit more or less. I can't really recall. But they're generally fairly short. You need to have those read by the end of this week right now. That may seem like a little bit unreasonable. I don't think it really is. I think you can get through it. You can look up audiobooks and stuff, or like audio recordings of these stories online. I can try to find some of those for you as well if they help some of you. I know some people do better with audio than they do with text if you can listen and maintain focus. So this week, by Tuesday, because I'm in my office you see I'm in my house tonight recording. It's not ideal. Usually I like to get my recordings done in my office in Coweta. I'm in Coweta. I'm not in Coweta on Monday. I'm in there on Tuesday. So I record my lectures on Tuesday and I upload them before I leave. And you can watch them between Tuesday and when the assignments are due, which is Sunday. So that should give you enough time to process the things I have to say. We will start by talking about Poe's short stories that you're supposed to read. Then we will move on to I'll give a small lecture video about the assignment prompts. So the way that the first essay, we're in fiction, the fiction unit, we're reading 3 different things. We're starting with Poe's short stories, then we're moving to Chuck Palahniuk's Fight Club, which is a novel, And then we're moving to a graphic novel, which is a fancy way of saying comic book, that is called V for Vendetta, which you may have seen the film. Some of you, it was popular a few years back. It's very dystopian, and it's about a future that no one wants to live in. So you have a choice over what essay you want to, what text you want to write over. And there are 3 different essay prompts, each corresponding with each text. You have a choice between that. You don't have to write 3 essays. So I will go over the one for Edgar Allan Poe. And then I'll give a short introduction on Fight Club, just kind of very short, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is a weird book. And then by Sunday, August 28th, you need to take the quiz over Poe's short stories. It's a pretty easy quiz. If you read the short stories, you shouldn't have any problem. And there is a discussion over Poe as well, due on the 28th. Then next, for week 3, you need to read the first half of Fight Club, which is the first 12 chapters, pages 1 through 74. There will be a quiz by that following Sunday, September the 4th, over Fight Club, chapters 1 through 12. Then I'll post a lecture video talking about those chapters as well. The lecture video will actually come before the quiz is due. So technically, I guess you could watch the lecture video and try to answer the quiz if you want. I would say you should probably read it, since you're going to have to write an essay over it anyway, and so you need to read it if you're going to write on that. Then the following week, we will finish up Fight Club. Campus is closed for Labor Day, by the way, on the 5th. Don't forget. There'll be another quiz over the second half of Fight Club due on September the 11th. There'll also be a discussion over Fight Club due on September 11th as well. I will post a lecture video over the last half of Fight Club, and then I'll also post a brief lecture video about how to write about literature, because it's a little bit different writing about literature than it is just writing a general essay using rhetorical strategy. So I'll give you a little information about that. Then we will begin V for Vendetta. We'll start with volumes 1 through 5. There are 10 volumes total. They're not very long. They're all available in Blackboard. They have beautiful imagery that goes with the words and everything. It's kind of a cool medium because it uses images and text as well. So the quiz for that will be due September the 18th. The lecture video will be posted September 13th. Then I will go over the optional essay for that one as well. And that will be the last optional essay. And then we'll finish up V for Vendetta on week 6. Discussion 3 by the September the 25th. And then essay 1, I may include a quiz in there somewhere. I didn't put it on here, but it may be a pop quiz if I decide to. Essay 1 will be due Sunday, September the 25th by 11:59. So that's about 5 weeks from now. Let's see. Then we will start the drama unit. That's theater. I'll post a lecture video on the 27th about the intro to drama and theater. Then you will need to read the tragical history of Dr. Faustus, page 1 through 35. I'm going to go ahead and warn you. Dr. Faustus is from the Renaissance, like 500 years ago. The vernacular, the way that they talk in that text, also they use Latin a lot. You're not going to be able to understand a lot of it. I want you to do your best. Do what you can with it. If you can't get through reading it, I have included an audio recording as well as a recording of the performance. So, plays are texts, but they're also to be performed. I've included a video of the performance as well. Okay, lecture video over the finish. We're going to finish Faustus on week 8. And then I want you to start a Midsummer Night's Dream. So I've included one comedy and one tragedy during the drama unit. The tragedy will get out of the way. That's Dr. Faustus. Then we'll move on to Midsummer Night's Dream, which is very lighthearted and silly, and it's Shakespeare. It's something a lot of you have probably read something by Shakespeare. Usually it's Romeo and Juliet. This one is a little more obscure. It's not read as often, but I do think you will enjoy it. So then we'll go on to that. Then discussion 4 will be due on October 9th. That's going to be over Dr. Faustus. Then I'll have a lecture video about Midsummer Night's Dream. We'll finish up Midsummer Night's Dream for week 10. I'm not going to quiz you over Midsummer Night's Dream either. There'll be a 5th discussion on the 23rd, as well as a lecture video, and then the essay 2 will be due October 23rd at 11:59. That is a little early. I may elect to move that to the 11th, but we're going to go ahead and start the poetry unit if I do. Just because it's good for us to go ahead and get moving. So then we will start poetry. We'll start by reading, doing lectures over the romantic genre, which is what most of the stuff we're going to study is from the romantic genre. And you don't know what that is right now, but you will later. And then we're going to read for next work. Wow. Okay, Brian. Read for next week all the poems by William Blake in the poetry packet. There will be a quiz over those, a lecture video for that following week. Then I want you to read The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. There'll be a discussion on William Blake due November the 6th. Week 13, take the quiz by The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. There'll be a lecture video posted over The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. There'll be a lecture video over the Essay 3 poetry assignment prompt. And then we will read Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti, which is a very strange poem, which people usually are shocked and appalled by for various different reasons. And then we will, week 14, we will do Goblin Market. I'll have a lecture video and a quiz. Then week 15, that's going to be Thanksgiving break. And we're all going to be stuffing our faces with turkey. Or if you're of the vegan or vegetarian persuasion, tofurkey, or perhaps something else. And then week 16, we'll come back, talk a little bit about the poetry of Edgar Allan Poe. I think I have like 2 or 3 poems by him. It'll be a very, very short thing. And then finals week is the 17th week. Essay 3 is going to be due December the 4th at 11:59. Discussion 7 will be due also on that day at 11:59. Discussion 7 is just like, hey, how'd you like the class? How can I make it better? Was it okay in an online format? Yada, yada, yada. And so that's the schedule. That's the syllabus. I will show you real quick, just as a good rule of thumb. I will show you my screen here. Well, okay. Here is my screen. Okay, so lessons. This is the way that I have everything. I'm a very like keep it simple, stupid kind of guy. Usually there's 15,000 folders that you have to process through. I posted the schedule here. I'll probably remove that soon because before the syllabus was written, I wanted you to know what was on the radar. But writing resources, this is going to have stuff about writing assignments like MLA and stuff like that. You can click on that. There's all kinds of stuff here. I'm just going to leave it. I didn't personally put all that in there, but I think it is useful. Writing assignments, this is where your essay prompts are. They're all in there right now. At least the ones for essay 1. I'll include the other ones as well. This is where all your texts are, and the texts, they're divided by unit. So you click on fiction, and here's all the stuff for fiction. V for Vendetta has its own folder because it's 10 volumes. And then, so that's the texts. We'll back out of that. This is where the YouTube lectures go. I will record them weekly, and I'll try to get ahead of them because I know some of you like to work ahead. I will try to make that happen for you. If you're one of those people that needs to work ahead, maybe shoot me an email and let me know that you're out there. Otherwise, I'll probably move at a standard pace. This is where the discussion boards will be. The first discussion is in there. The rest of them are to follow, but the first one is in there. You can go ahead and get started on it if you want. Quizzes, this is where all the quizzes would be. Same thing, here's the Edgar Allan Poe quiz. You can go ahead and start on if you haven't already. This is notes, slideshows, and other supplemental content. So this contains other stuff. Here are the notes on Edgar Allan Poe that I'm going to go over with you. There's some stuff on how to read fiction and stuff like that. And I'll put more stuff in these folders as time progresses. But it's very easy. That's how I have everything broken down. Here's a Respondus browser for you to do the proctored assignment. So, and keep an eye out for instructions about that later on. So that's really how the course is laid out. The only other thing I've got to say is I'm going to be changing the grade book around a little bit in the next couple of days. So you're going to see assignments in the grade book that were there. They're going to disappear. New assignments will be added so that I get everything straightened out the way I want it. Once it is straightened out, I will let you know, and things will proceed as normal. So everything that I've just gone over, that is the course. If you have any questions for me about said course, do not hesitate to reach out, give me an email, maybe a phone call, and we can work out any questions, concerns you may have, advice about what to do. if you should take this course or another one, if online is for you. Those are questions I can answer as well. I am not a great online professor. I'm a very lecture-oriented guy. I like to give lectures. I like to talk to students. I like to have that in-person vibe. So when I do online, there's a little bit of adjustment. It is still lecture-based, but I'm going to provide other content for you as well. If you're not really a lecture guy or girl, I will provide other content that you can use to supplement and strengthen in areas that you are good at. So I have talked enough, I believe. It has been wonderful. I hope that you all are feeling well and excited for what is either your first or second or third or whatever semester of college. Maybe it's your last semester of college, who knows. But I'm happy that you're here. I hope you're happy to be here. I hope you're ready to learn some interesting stuff and to go over some weird stuff. The texts that I have chosen because I personally like them. I think if I like what I'm doing, then you will like it more. But if you don't like all of it, which you're probably not going to like all of it, it's okay. You don't have to like everything. You just have to get through the class, right? So I'm here to help you do that. If you need anything at all, please let me know. Brian.murphy@weskatech.edu. That's BRYAN.Murphy, MURPHY, @weskatech.edu. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you again soon.